Hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment on this year, 2025, my first installment of this year of A Rebel Without Applause. Today, I have a really incredible guest. I consider him a friend, and he is really one of the most important leading lights in jazz in our city in Los Angeles. He is really at the point of the spear in what I can loosely call this spiritual modal jazz sound, and he's been there for decades. He is a terrific singer. I've been deep diving to all of his records, again, refreshing my ears with his fantastic voice, and he is also the artistic director of what I believe truly is the most important cultural institution in Los Angeles. It has been a lifesaver for me and my trusted licorice stick. By that I mean the jam session Thursday night. And he's here with me across this digital divide. Welcome to Rebel Without Applause, Dwight Trible. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me here, Bill. I'm very honored that anybody in the world would think that they want to have me on their program. So thank you so much for having me here.
Well, you know, this is, I'm honored on this side of the digital divide to have you. I mean, I've known you for a while, going down to the world stage, and just, you know, once we scheduled this, I decided I really wanted to listen to you more closely, and I was just deep diving into your records, and frankly, they're fantastic. I'm hearing echoes in the past. I just mentioned it to you of you know, Billy Eckstine and Barry White and, you know, Joe Williams, and they're all lurking in the past, but you managed to, you know, create your own canvas as a singer that I found just fantastic. And I just wanted to start with your own artistic journey. You're from Cincinnati, is that right?
Yeah, I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. I must have left there when I was I was probably 20, maybe 21, something like that. 20, somewhere between 20 and 25. I was looking at TV in around this time of year in Cincinnati, and I knew that I was going to leave and go somewhere. Uh, and I thought about New York, Chicago. But that particular day, it was freezing cold weather, and the snow was about 3 feet deep. So we couldn't really go outside and do anything. And so I used to watch The Tonight Show
Mm.
uh, late at night with Johnny Carson. And during the commercials, they would show what's going on in LA at the time. So here we are in Cincinnati, freezing to death, and in the snowy weather, and on the commercials, I saw these women in bikinis frolicking at the beach on that same day, and I said, "Okay, I know where I'm going. I got to go to Los Angeles," and that is. Shortly after that, I think it was within a year, I saw that, and I saved a few coins together and drove my '69 Plymouth, one of those old police cars,
Mm-hmm.
drove that all the way to Los Angeles, and really had one friend in Los Angeles, and he lived down in Watts, and so I lived with them for a while, and you know, did everything that I could do. Very hungry for jam sessions, anything that I could get involved in, and I managed to get a job during the day, but every single night I was at some club trying to sit in, you know, walking up and down Sunset Boulevard. I found my way to Hollywood and knocking on anybody's door that would open it. So I was hungry back then, really hungry, you know, and um, I can say that I don't feel that hunger right now. Um, I'm still very much hungry for the music. You know, I have a motto, that say, stay hungry and humble, you know, and really, I don't even know or consider myself being in the music business at this time. You know, I am still very, very excited as I was the first day that I did music. I'm excited to know music, to learn it. I'm excited to learn something new about it. I practice each and every day. I work on music. I'm working on 3 different recordings right now. And that's, but I don't really feel that I'm trying to make anything happen in the music industry, the music world, trying to get somewhere. I
Yeah.
just want to make records and that I like, and hopefully somebody else will like it. Hopefully, some company will be willing to put it out. Nowadays you can put your own records out if you want to. I've done it a couple of times, and I would rather let a small boutique company take it, and if they're willing to promote it and do all the things that it takes, do it. Because I think that it's important that while we're here to if people really want to know who I am, just I would like to be able to say, well, just listen to the music. That'll tell you a whole lot more about me than me talking even.
Well, having listened to you, it's a very deep well. I mean, I have to say, I've been listening to all the music in the last, I don't know, couple of days ever since we locked down this day, and particularly uh, the one I just was mentioning to you. I love those 2 tunes off your album. What is it? Ancient Future? And particularly the tune "Stomping Grounds" and about the beach, and then you've done a fantastic job of also reinventing music that is kind of familiar, like "I Love Paris" and "What the World Needs Now." You put a fantastic stamp and reinvent music and footprints too. Wayne Shorter's footprints that I listen to. That other, you've reinvented music and given it like fresh life. So I'm a huge fan. What can I say?
Well, the one thing about not being signed to a major label is you get an opportunity to do anything you want to do, you know. And and to me, I think that's a beautiful thing. I mean, you may not make any money or anything like that, but you can still have the opportunity to do whatever you want to do. So there's too many things on my bucket list that I've wanted to do. And that particular record, The Ancient Future, I was thinking, I would like to do something, something that's funky, something that's, that has the sort of weather report, what do you call it, thing where it's touching infinity, and then me coming down the window singing, in a more mature, sort of blues-oriented sort of way, and to fuse those things together, where it can be funkadelic, funky weather report, and me doing some sort of blues-oriented thing, all mixed up into one.
Well, in Stomping Grounds, I couldn't help think of what like Randy Newman did, with I Love L.A. Ventura Boulevard, except you do it with Crenshaw Boulevard as you move south down the street, starting with Phillips Barbecue, which sadly is closed. And I can't tell you how many times I'd be going to the jam session early so that I could, stop off at Phillips for some barbecue. Oh,
Right.
no, I'm going to go to Maryland's and get her catfish. And work my way down. By the time I got to the world stage for the jam session, I was completely satisfied and satiated. So
there's a record company in the UK, and I sold them on the idea about this record, and so the guy, he comes over and sort of produces the records and so forth. So so he came over one Saturday. I had all the guys come over to the world stage, all the guys in the band, and had our engineer Tomo. And I said, okay, now what we do, I want you to record what we're going to do, because we're going to go in the studio on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started putting down some ideas and everything. And I got to thinking, I think it'd be nice to just talk about, my stomping ground. And I didn't. I didn't think that anybody would really groove with it or dig it or anything like that. But some, I've heard that people have been playing it on the radio and so forth. I'm like, really? Okay.
It's so fantastic because it's so authentic to place and your relationship to it. And of course, at the epicenter of the song, in a way, geographically and musically, is the world stage, because you talk about, you think about it. And, sadly, I don't think Phillips, it's been closed for a while. I think it was a casualty of COVID.
I was talking to somebody about Phillips the other day, just a couple of days ago, because there was no announcement that they were closing at all. And all of a sudden, one day, we went over there to get some barbecue, and they were closed.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether they plan to open again, and there's nobody that I talked to that knows why they decided to close, because they had lines. I mean, when you go there, you had to be prepared to wait a half an hour.
Right, and it was a takeout anyway, so it wasn't like a COVID casualty where you couldn't sit there. Most people just grabbed and ran,
Right. So I know they were making money, so I cannot figure out why in the world would they close, or are they remodeling, or what?
And they had two locations, because they had one right down in Lemert too. Like there was a little annex you could go get Phillips as well, right?
Right. Yeah, right over in the parking lot that's across the street. So, I hated when they left too, but both of them were doing well.
I know.
So it's really strange that they just disappear like this, after being there for so long.
Now, I look behind you, Dwight, and I see this great poster about Horace Tapscott, who is one of the leading lights down in Central Avenue and the People's Orchestra, and I think inspired and let loose a whole generation of musicians. Talk about your connection to the People's Orchestra.
Oh, the Pan-African People's Orchestra. When I moved to Los Angeles, I had always heard about this guy named Horace Tapscott. Saw posters about him playing at this festival and that festival. And, whenever I would go and look for him, I couldn't find this guy. So Kamal called me and said, hey, man, I want you to come down. We just opened up this place called the World Stage. And he called me twice, because back then we didn't have internet or, way to send out announcements and all of that. So he would get on the phone every Friday and call people and tell them that they're having a concert. And this guy, Horace Tapscott, came, and it was like summertime, but he had on a coat, And I thought he was going to play with the band, but they all left the stage, and Horace went up there and just started playing by himself. And I thought that I knew what this music was about. But when Horace came, it was like he was this lion that got on the piano, and I had never seen anything like Horace Tapscott before. And some of it was, I said, man, I see the genius in him. And because it was upsetting my senses, and I knew that after I saw this guy, everything that I know, I'm gonna have to rethink now about music. I got to rethink what I know now, and it was so jarring to my senses and everything. After the concert, when me and my wife was on our way home, neither one of us could even talk. You know, neither one of us could talk because I said, I've just seen a genius here, and now everything is twisted all around in my head, but in a beautiful way. In a beautiful way. And so I started playing at the stage, and Horace would come in with his big coat on again in the summertime, and he would look, and I'd see him standing at the back door, and then I'd close my eyes and be doing the music, and then I'd open them up, and he'd be gone. And he did this for about a year because I used to play at the world stage probably at least once a month, 2 days, Friday and Saturday.
Hmm.
Um, and so one day I saw the Ark playing at the L.A. festival, and somebody was singing with them. And I said to myself, I think I'm supposed to sing with this group because I think I know where what they need on this, and the spirit that they need with what they're doing. And the singer that was singing, I didn't hear I didn't hear that something, that energy that needed to be, because the band was playing with so much energy and spirit, and the singer got to match that spirit that these guys have. And shortly after that, I got a call from Horace, and he said, "Dwight, um, I got some songs I want you to sing. So be at my house tomorrow at 3 o'clock." Click, and just hung the phone up. And of course, I really didn't know Horace. I mean, whenever he'd see me, he'd smile. I didn't know where he lived at, but I guess he knew that. Well, he'll find a way to get here. And I went over to his house, and we started working together. Um, and he was, it was like he had a crash course for me. And we worked together at least 3 times a week, probably for a year, teaching me all of the music, and, bringing me records and stuff like that so that I could really get up on what it was happening with the Ark. And then one day he said, um, "Come over to the world stage. We're gonna play at the world stage." No particular thing. It was like a weekday or something like that. He said, "Okay, we're gonna be at the world stage at 4 o'clock. So come on over." Now I show up over there. About 30 guys are there. I've never rehearsed with the Ark before, and so I say, "Horace, are we gonna have like a little rehearsal before we go up there?" He said, "No, no." I said, "Well, are we gonna have a sound check? So I could kind of get a feeling of what's gonna happen with the band." And so he said, "Dwight, come here, come here, come here, Dwight, come here." He said, "We don't do things like that. We don't do things like that." So I'm like, "What?" And so I said, "Well, okay, if that's the way y'all do it, you know, whenever the band starts, I'm just gonna come in singing."
Right.
When I feel like I'm coming in, when I think it's my time to come in, then I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna sing. And after that, pretty much every time Horace Tapscott played, I played with him, until the end of his life, pretty much. And he took me to Europe for the first time.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, and and then, as a result of playing with Horace, then I got a chance to play with Billy Higgins and so Billy was so beautiful, and it would be like Billy Higgins, Horace Tapscott, Art Davis, and me singing.
Wow.
you know, and so whenever somebody would come to town and say, they play at Catalina, and I would come in, and Billy would always tell them, "Hey man, let him sing with you, let him sing." And I'd be like, "No, no, no." I don't, I'm not ready to sing with these guys, like Charles Lloyd and Bobby Hutcherson and Pharaoh
Yeah.
and all of that. He would really press on Pharaoh Sanders to make him let me sing,
Uh-huh.
and, and Pharaoh, he never would call me up, which I was thankful for. and so one day, Pharaoh's, after when Billy Higgins passed away, uh, Charles Lloyd called me up and he said, "Dwight, I know, man, we never got around to it, and Billy used to always try to get me to let you come and sing and everything. Uh, I'm gonna do this thing at the Hollywood Bowl, and do you think that you would like to do that with me? The Playboy Jazz Festival."
Yeah, yeah.
And I said, "Sure."
Yeah. I'm busy, I can't. Yeah.
Yeah, and then one day uh, I saw Pharaoh at Catalina's, and he asked me what I was doing and all of that, and he called me and asked me to do, was I free doing, because back then they used to do 6 days a week, and so he offered me to do a gig at Catalina starting off, and then we started going up to Yoshi's and going other places, again, when I first started singing with him, I said, "Well, is there any songs you want me to learn?" And he said, "No, I'm not sure. Call the piano player. His name was William Henderson. Call William and see what he might want you to learn." So I called the piano player. He said, "Man, we haven't had a vocalist work with us in years, so I don't know what to tell you. Call the bass player." So Jeffrey Littleton was playing bass at the time, so I called Jeffrey. "Hey man, what song should I try to learn?" "Man, I don't know. I never played with a singer with Pharaoh." so so then I just called a friend and said, "Make me a tape of every song that Pharaoh's got vocals on, and let me do that." And so he did made that recording for me. So I learned all of these songs. And when we got to the gig again, I said, "Are we having a sound check or a rehearsal?" No, 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 because we'll be just getting in from Europe, so so we won't have time to get no sound check. Okay. So we get in the dressing room, and I think I'm armed because I know all the material. And they started calling off songs, and I never heard of these songs before. Every song they called off, none of them was on my list.
Right.
And they would just talk to each other and, "Okay, you want to do that song? Okay, okay, we'll do this one, we'll do that one, and then after that," and I'm just standing there looking like, "Oh my God, I don't have no clue as to how any of these songs go." Next thing I know, the guy was saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, the Pharoah Sanders Quartet featuring Dwight Trible."
So what did you do? How did you just improvise, you just go, right? Get
I
brave.
just, I just went out there and stood up there on the stage, and I closed my eyes and I said, "Okay, once I hear the song and I hear where they're going with it, you know, and I feel a place that I can get in there, then I'm gonna start singing. And I did that through the whole set. And I think Don Heckman was there that used to review for the Times,
Right.
and he gave us a really great review. I'm like, man, I had no idea. I was just, just vibing on whatever they were doing, whatever happened. And from there we had a really good thing. We had a good run, and so I would say that those three guys were pretty much in terms of being mentors, music mentors. I would say that it would be them, those three: Horace Tapscott, Billy Higgins, and Pharoah Sanders.
Pharaoh, like, just passed away, I think within the last year, although now I'm not sure.
It's probably been about 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, probably been about 2 years, and we were very very close, and I certainly the world has certainly become a lot more lonelier, without these wonderful electric people being in it. And yeah, so it seems that most of the mentors that we had are just about all gone, and I guess the thing is now, we stand in that place.
Yeah, you become the mentor almost. The transition, it's like batter up. That's just the way life is. People pass into the past, and then if you're still here, you become the standard bearer. Sometimes there's no ceremony, it's just you. And I can say this, for me, the world stage has been the best music lesson I've ever had, because, with my clarinet, I always feel like in jazz there's two two pieces to the puzzle. There's the woodshed and the bandstand. And the woodshed is where I'm sitting right now. It's my apartment. And the bandstand is wherever I can get on stage. And the world stage was for me, and still is, the bandstand. And it's where, I can heavy lift whatever I'm working on and feed off of what I'm hearing onto this bandstand. And for me personally, as a guy who's been a comedian and also walked the streets of Sunset Boulevard, knocking on doors, trying to get a microphone so I could tell my jokes. The world stage and the welcome wagon that I got there from yourself and others, it saved my life creatively, because I always felt like when I was so frustrated with trying to open doors in Hollywood, whether it's with my screenwriting and the acting or the stand up comedy, all of which I've done, it was just chewing me up. And yet Thursday night I could go, and irrespective of my ability, if I just had the courage, I could go up there and play that music.
I feel that the world stage, to me, it's a beautiful place where, if you have the right vibration and are about the righteous cause, you know, you are most welcome there. Everybody is welcome. There is, I don't have to micromanage anything, because I know that everybody that's involved in the world stage, including you, including all of the people that come to the stage, because everybody is a part of it. And everybody, if there's something that needs to be done, it don't matter whether you work there or not, everybody jumps in, and because it's like a family. And I mean, when I think about each and every aspect, every workshop, every jam session, everything, everybody that's there, they're there because they believe in this. And the same reason that I'm there, because it's something that I know that I have in my life that I am doing that is an act of pure giving, that the only thing that I'm looking to get back from this is the joy and the feeling that I gave something and for my community, for the world, that I really did something that I'm not looking to get money for it. I'm not looking for somebody to pat me on the back. It doesn't matter. I don't care if anybody even knows that I run the place or or anything like that. None of that matters. The only thing that matters to me is when I look at it and see that, wow, here we are, artists. All of us are artists, and we have no real thing that we can go out and brag about our business acumen and all of that kind of stuff, because that's not what we are. I mean, I feel that I might have a bit of common sense, and and I know that when I don't know something, I can kind of size up people and know who does know and who I can call upon that might know about something, like in terms of our grant writing. I can call up Liz, or and God bless, and Renee. She covers so much ground with the whole world stage, and so if there's anything that I might have is maybe just the ability to kind of see the big picture, you know. And other than that, it's just about trying to treat people the way that I wish to be treated. You know, treat people. Everybody deserves respect. It doesn't matter whether it's somebody that does not have a home and that sleeps on the street or sleep in their car, or if they come from Beverly Hills. Treat everybody the same, with the same love and respect. If and when you walk through those doors, if you come in there and you got the right vibration, you will get the love and respect. And like I was telling you before we went on the air, it's virtually free. I mean, and
Yeah.
we don't sell anything. Maybe we should start selling a little something.
I want that T-shirt. I still got to get that T-shirt.
But you know, basically, we are just trying to do something good in the world. That's what we're trying to do, and I guess we are doing it because there's many organizations that have started at the time that we did. Many clubs, everything that's long gone. In some kind of way, we're still there. I don't understand it. The only thing I can attribute it to is really the Holy Spirit, that we actually, because we don't really know what we're doing. And I, before I come to the world stage every day, I pray that the Lord will show me what to do next. Show me what to do. Show me what I'm supposed to do today. You know, watch over this place. Please keep negativity away from the world stage. Watch over everybody there, that they can come and go and get and come safely and go home safely. Enjoy themselves while they're there, Lord. That make this thing a beautiful occasion when people come out, and try to reflect that when people come. It's like, just open up your heart, open your heart, open your heart, open it up wide, open it up, welcome everybody. And I think that we have, we had a meeting with our PR team the other night. Nobody really gets paid for doing it, but everybody jumps in and do it. It's duty for them, because they have believed, just like I believe, that this is something worth giving my life's energy to. and when it's time to go home and for me to stop or whatever, I can sit back with the satisfaction of knowing that I did something good.
Well,
You know,
you have. I mean, you've gifted me. I mean, it's been a. I mean, I don't know how to say it. It's just been fantastic for me. Uh, the musical education, the friendships, the confidence, and having been a guy who scuffled in the Hollywood sector and gotten the "fuck you, get out of here, we don't need you," or "what can you do for me?" and the mosh pit of agents and managers and all the scar tissue associated with that, just to get little pieces of stage time as a comedian or opportunities as a writer or actor. The world stage, I don't know. It's just been like a balm to my spirit, and I'm just eternally grateful for it. And one of the things that strikes me about the world stage is that so much of our society is, especially in music, is we're like sort of instructed socially to worship the stars, the talented few, and I can appreciate the talent of others, and certainly, those people. But music isn't just for them; it's for everybody to participate and learn. And especially in jazz, I feel like we need audience members. We need people that can appreciate the music, so that people will be in clubs. That this isn't just some arcane art form that nobody really knows about. So the world stage not only is an open invite to people to participate regardless of their status and celebrity, but it's also like helps people appreciate the music, and it's kind of a two-way street. So I don't know, to me it's it's super meaningful.
when I was thinking about this the other day, the only place that I know of that has consistently been about the culture and presenting high art, especially by way of jazz music and creative writing, and where we create the culture where when people come to listen. And I think the good thing about it is that when it's set up theater style, and the fact that we don't really sell anything, and we don't allow alcohol or marijuana to be smoked on the inside of the place.
A little bit on the outside, I can tell you, but the other thing.
We might have it. You might do it on the outside, but one of Billy Higgins' laws was that you cannot do it on the inside here. You cannot bring it in.
Good.
And I think that the way we're set up theater style, it is a concert setting, and I don't know that there's any place else in South LA where when you get on stage to play that the audience is there and they come and listen, and they're not having conversation while you're playing. I mean, and if you start having a conversation, and sometimes people can start talking loud because they're into what they're talking about, there will be somebody that will come and, hey,
Yeah.
respect what's going on stage. Respect what you hear. And I don't know of any place else in South LA. That there's other places around the city, but not in South LA, that has a standard that way, where when people come to play, because a lot of the guys in the community, they play at I won't name these places, but places where the talking is louder than the music. The thing that I think that the world stage has, as humble as we are, the one thing that the emphasis is on what's going on the stage, the music, The
Hmm.
emphasis is there, and it's not about, like I say, we might sell some beer and wine outside and all of that, but that's outside. When you come inside, that's why, when we first moved across the street,
Right.
people felt like, okay, we need to come through the front door, you know,
Hmm.
and I went in there and I said, okay, now where's the bathroom? The restroom is back here.
Right.
Okay, so now if a concert is happening, then we want all eyes to be on the concert. All focus is on the concert. If we put the stage back there where the bathroom is, whenever somebody's got to go to the restroom,
They're on stage. They're in the performance.
right?
Yeah.
So that breaks the spell.
Right.
That breaks the spell. So I sat there and I say, I know that people are going to be pissed at me from the beginning, but they're going to see sooner or later. And when I put the stage where it was, and people were, man, you gotta have people be able to come through the front door. And I said, no, just please. I know what I'm talking about. Please, this is something that I feel, and you're gonna get it after a while. It's gonna come to you. And now, when people come in, so let's say the concert is going on and people are late, they don't disturb the concert. They don't have to feel weird about coming in past the
Right.
stage. So, and then if somebody has to use the restroom or have to go outside for a minute, they don't have to feel weird because they're not messing up anything. And I say, if we're gonna be a real concert venue, we have to have it where the music takes precedence over everything. And even if it means I gotta close the front door and we have to enter from the rear, then we're gonna do it like that. You know,
And it works out because then the parking's easy because you got the parking behind.
parking is right there.
It's very, and parking is like I don't want to go there because it's $20 to park and I'm going to get hassled. It's very easy. And the logistics of the room, at first I thought, well, why aren't the front door? And I'm trying to explain people how to get there and it's on Degnan. Well, actually, but all things considered, you absolutely made the right choice. And during the pandemic, when we really couldn't play inside, that back area became the, the stage. And you get there and it'll be January or December, and like, oh man, it's too cold. My fingers can't play. I feel like my horn's gonna crack in two. But other than that, it got us through the pandemic. I think that the
Yeah,
backyard.
yeah, we sure did. And I mean, because actually, I was, I had been there for nearly 10 years, and so I was thinking that year I was gonna, start kind of stepping back
Hmm.
myself, and but then the pandemic happened, and I said, no, I can't leave now. I gotta figure out a way, to where how are we gonna be able to do this? How are we gonna survive? How are we gonna, and so I thought, okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to start doing things outside. And if we do concerts inside, we can't have an audience, just the musicians. And so we did that for what, about maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years?
Seems like it. Yeah, it was fun. I think
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
great.
And we did it. And in fact, I had thought about when the weather gets warmer, every once in a while, like say for a holiday weekend or something, maybe we might do one outside again, and just have like a party. But I don't know. But yeah, we managed to make it through the pandemic, and now we're thinking about making one more move.
Oh,
Yeah, in fact, we're kind of in the middle of talking about it.
Does that mean vacating the current venue and finding another venue?
Well, we've already located the other venue.
Uh-huh.
It's about at least three times the size of the place we have now.
Wow.
So we just feel like we need to be able to expand and have more space to be able to do more things. We want to get into some theater and maybe some dance and things like that. And then when we have community things where the community has needs to meet about something, then we have the space to do it.
Right.
Uh, so we feel that it's if we're going to have the opportunity to grow, that now is the time to do it. And there's an organization called Downtown Crenshaw that they bought this building with the world stage in mind because the building that we're in now was supposed to be torn down, and they were going to build an apartment building on that space. Uh, so that's why we began to look for a new building in the first place.
Right.
But when we found when downtown Crenshaw found this space for us, uh, which is a space that when we moved from across the street was the place that I wanted to get in the first place. Uh,
Oh, okay. I love the old storefront. It had a certain kind of charm, with people hanging out, all the characters, and I remember this. If okay, Bill, you can. Yeah, I know this tune. Okay, I can play. So I line up against the wall and wait. Like to get into this solo, and it was a really cool place.
the thing is it's about you know growing and evolving and hopefully uh, we can just like we took the same vibe from the other place to this place, that we'll take the vibe from this place to the other place. And even as we grow, we still keep our core values in place. We
Right.
make sure that we still stay humble and hungry, and so I'm looking forward to being able to do many more things, and in terms of our concerts, to be able to even bring people from around the world to come and bring their music to the world stage, and the more I'm looking to, we'll have the capacity of about maybe 250.
Oh, okay.
And you know, I know that with this new president
Uh,
who's in office, and because we have our eyes, our sights set on getting a national endowment for the arts, but I don't know how all of that's going to go. But be it as it is, I just feel like I got one more act to my world stage thing.
I'll never forget it. A number of years ago, I was in Berlin, and what's the guy's name too? He works he used to play at the world stage, but he moved to Berlin. I don't know.
Kouassi.
Yeah, Fuasi. Yeah, I went and saw him, and then I went to these jam sessions, and I was blown away because it was packed, not with musicians, but with the people that were actually interested in listening to the music. I said, I'm used to the world stage where there's three people, that weren't musicians in the audience. It was so fantastic. I wish in our own city that there was, we don't need is I mean, we need more musicians, but what we really need is people that appreciate the music and that are willing to pay for it, and audience members to come and listen. I think that starts with education, but um, the spirit of creativity and generosity lives on no matter who's sitting on top of the political pyramid at this moment, and that won't stop. and nobody can stop.
Right. That's right. No, we definitely do not plan to stop because we're working for under a greater power than this guy, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
and people think that they're running things, but I mean things. When the universe decides to move and act, it can wipe out everything that you're doing within 5 seconds. So we know that that we're working for a higher
Ask
power.
these guys. They thought they ruled the world. One day an asteroid hit and they were history. I relate to these guys because I feel like maybe I'm going extinct also, but that's another story for another time.
We, so I'm very excited about this. I know it's going to be a lot of work and that kind of thing, but you have to do it as best you can do it, evolve in the best way that you can, and um, and then after that, it's time for the younger generation to give the ball to them like Billy and those guys gave it to us. And
Right.
so now it's time for me and Renee and all of us, to start identifying the people that have the understanding, the right vibration, and the skills that hopefully that will be even better than what we were able to present, and give it and pass the ball to them, and then I can come back and be the OG and see it flourish in an even greater way. So that's my dream right now.
Well, I was in the jam session yesterday night, and guy, I mean, he must have been 18 or 19. He sits down on the piano, and I, th- and, I said, "Well, let's play Alfie's theme, but Sonny Rollins." And he said, "Okay." Like he knew. These kids, they're so smart. I mean, they know all these tunes. They know everything. I'm just amazed. I just hope there's a place for them in music so that it's a sustainable enterprise for them and it's not something that they have to give up because there's no place for that music
Well,
in our culture.
well, we will. I believe that the world stage will be there, and even when you're in the business, and like you say, it's a nasty business, a lot of the time.
Mhm.
And you have to come back to a place like the world stage so you can remember why you started out playing music in the first place.
Right.
You I mean, because when you get in the business out there, I mean, it's nasty, and sometimes people begin to hate picking up their instrument, and they hate, because of what they have to do and do for it, and because money is involved and all of that kind of stuff. And I just think that we need the places like the world stage so that when that you can set all of that aside and forget all about everything and come down here and remember why you started playing this music in the first place. So
Wow.
thank God for the world stage. We're gonna be doing it tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. And of course, on Sundays we have uh, the
Think-
Pan African People's Orchestra rehearses at 1 o'clock. The World Stage Big Band rehearses at 5 o'clock. Then after that, we have the vocal open mic from 8 o'clock until about 11 or 12. So every day, just about on Mondays, I work with have the young lions, the high school and college kids that come and do a presentation. Tuesday nights, Najite has a Nigerian drum class. On
Mhm.
Wednesdays, we have the Anansi Writers Workshop. And on Thursdays, of course, we have the world famous Billy Higgins Jam Session. And on Fridays and Saturdays, we do concerts and workshops. Our house drummer, Jerrol, does a drum
Right.
class on Saturdays. Saturday mornings, Matilda Haywood does a vocal workshop. After that, Eric Reed comes in at 5 o'clock and does a jazz master class. And then we have concerts later on that night. Renee does her all-female women's hand drum workshop. So we're pretty much cutting it 7 days a week.
That's amazing. I mean, I just go for the jam. I used to go to the Sunday night singers thing with
Rose Gales.
Yeah, it's just a remarkable place, and I'm just going to extend an invitation to my millions of listeners and watchers out there to get your ass down to the world stage. If you live north of the freeway, go south of the freeway, head down Crenshaw Boulevard, integrate yourself, and get ultimately very, enrich yourself big time. The jam session for me has been like terrific. Dwight Trible, I want also to extend an invitation to everybody out there to check out your music. I mean, it's really great, and look out for you as a singer because you're a voice with a soul and a social conscience, and those things don't always go together. So I really appreciate you and this time and an opportunity to talk about the world stage. And to the people out there, namaste, shalom, and aloha. By that I mean namashaloha. Till next time, see you.
And let's not forget about the cornerstone of Lamert Park. The world stage, y'all. It's the stage of the world that tells everybody about the world.